Hello, everyone. Once again, this is Dare to Speak. I was taking a little bit of a vacation from doing videos. There was a lot of stuff that was going on, and I had to take care of it. And I wanted to take a break, and I'm doing okay. For those of you who might be concerned about me, as far as like my feet are doing better, my legs are doing better. I'm walking more, and I'm doing a good job in making improvement. um, and as far as a lot of the negativity that's been happening for the past week or so, things have pretty much calmed down. And I noticed uh, some bad things have been happening with family drama. Uh, I wasn't involved in it, but I had to pretty much kind of like intervene a little bit to resolve the problem a little as much as I can. Uh, I wanted to touch on the concept of on God again. I know I mentioned this many times before, and with the way things are going with this pandemic and all this craziness that's been happening, I know that when things get really rough, people are gonna want to turn to God. People are gonna want to favor the Bible more often than usual, or more than ever. You know, if things get really out of hand. And and the thing is, it brought me back in a sense to when I used to believe in God, until I actually had a number of epiphanies. What you call a reality check. When I used to get bothered by evil spirits, or which I thought was evil spirits back then, I noticed that whenever I did pray, whenever, or of course it worked, but I started to wonder if it's really because of the prayer itself, or because of the power of God itself, or was it because of my psychological placebo effect belief. So when I used to get bothered by it again, I decided to change my method, and I just started to say, get away from me. You have no power over me whatsoever. I would cuss at it. I would say "fuck you" and whatever. I would stand my ground. And even when it got more and more violent, when I was pushed off my chair, or scared off, or whatever, that kind of thing, grabbed and pulled off the bed almost, I noticed I would show a great deal of I would show a great deal of stubbornness. I would be like, "This is my room. I'm not gonna be scared out of my fucking room. Fuck you." That was my attitude. I didn't want anybody to be there with me to make me feel better, because it will make me become more and more codependent, and I didn't want that. I didn't want anybody to be there. And even when things got really scary, I had to, like, it's like facing a bully. It's good to have somebody to stick up for you. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can't make a habit out of it. You can't. Sooner or later, you're gonna have to face more bullies by yourself without anybody's help, because they can't always be there for you. And even if they were, all they're doing is making you become codependent, and you don't want that. You want to be independent. You want to be able to, stick up for yourself. So I used that concept whenever I was confronted by these creatures, these elf-like creatures, these these goblins or whatever you want to call them, these beings. And the more I stood up for myself without using prayer, without saying the Our Father, or without saying Jesus, or without calling upon a particular angel, without doing any of that, I actually just relied on myself and my own anger, my own stubbornness. Like, I'm not gonna take this shit anymore. I mean, come on, motherfucker, do something. Because I'm fucking sick and tired of you. You know, it even got to that point. And then when I refused to be scared out of my room, it became less and less violent. I was actually winning. And then it decided to mess with somebody else in my family, and they would go off on me, and I would get angry with them and says, "What's wrong with you? What the hell? Don't act that way. Don't talk to me that way." So when it failed to actually do anything to me that way, scaring me, it would mess with somebody else, and it would cause anger. I got it from all this family drama, and I noticed it would mess with me again because instead of fear this time, it was anger. So whenever I was messed with again, even stronger, it wasn't trying to scare me. It was trying to piss me off. So when it failed in one aspect, it tried to attack me in another one. So when I finally had to resort to getting help from this ritual that I did, that I was told to do, which I don't have it with me right now, but it's using those black image candles, and I would burn them, and then it would help remove negativity. And sometimes I would use like essential oils to put on the candle, and like some cleansing oil or whatever. Like, this one's a pretty good one. This one is called Dragon's Blood. It might be kind of blurry. I'm sorry, but it does help. It is effective. And the one that I was using was called cleansing oil that I used on myself, and protection oil, and also some other types of essential oils that I was using. And I did this ritual, and I managed to calm myself down. And again, it became less and less violent. Like, it had very limited power. Every time they would try to attack me, I would get a little bit, like I would jump a little bit, but then I would just ignore it. And then, of course, with the help of white sage, that helps calm your nerves and stuff like that, it became less and less violent to the point that it was non-existent, and it would last for months. And I noticed that the person that tried to harm me, that's the reason why all of this happened in the first place. It was because of a family member that tried to harm me using witchcraft. That was the reason why. It wasn't because I didn't have enough faith in God, or I didn't go to church as often, or any of that crazy bullshit. It's because of that antagonism from this one person. She noticed that I was doing better, so she would come back even stronger and stronger by doing something to me, all because of my memory of the ritual abuse that when I was growing up. I still had memories of it, and I knew who the perpetrators were. And she didn't like it, and this other person, this other family member that was working in cahoots with her, also didn't like it. So I think you've seen a lot of my latest video on that, where I had that session with with Evelyn Paglini, and she helped me out as to why they were messing with me in the first place. And just to let you know, praying is not really effective if you're trying to be codependent on this belief that there's a God, or or Jesus is going to help you, or this and that. It's really a placebo effect. It's really about this. It's like when you use the concept of the psychological uh, protection. Like just say you were watching a scary movie and you got so scared to the point that you were afraid to even go to the basement to get something. Let's just say that you were by yourself. It was in the middle of the night. You just saw a very scary movie that horrified you, and to the point that you became very phobic. You get to like sleep with the lights on kind of thing. And let's just say you had to go downstairs to get something, and you're thinking to yourself, what if this happens? What if that happens? But there was really nothing there. Then it's all psychological. I mean, you could just toughen it out because the brain believes, the mind believes what it chooses to believe. That's the thing. It chooses to be scared. So if you train your psychological mind into thinking that nothing's going to happen to you, and you start using logic, it's because of the fact you saw a scary movie, and that's why you're scared. That also works when there is something in the room. If you allow this thing to scare you, all you're doing is giving it more power. But if you stand your ground and you say, I've been in this room growing up many times. I've been in this room many times when I was growing up, and I never had any scary shit happen to me. I'm not gonna let this thing scare me out of my fucking room or scare me out of my house. I'm like, fuck that. I don't think so. And then you start standing your ground, and that's a psychological effect, and then it helps you with your emotional. That's what I found out that was actually really effective. It's a lot more effective than reading passages from the Bible and saying Psalms 91 or the Our Father. I mean, if you want to do that and if it helps you, that's fine. If it helps you to give you psychological and emotional solace, that's fine. But just remember, it's not God that helped you. It's in my opinion. I'm just. I mean, you can believe whatever you want. It's really a psychological placebo effect. That's all it really is. Because the more power you give to yourself in strengthening up your psychological placebo effect mind, the less power that thing is going to have over you. It will weaken and weaken into the point that it's going to be non-existent. So I hope this makes sense to a lot of you. Questions or comments, you know what to do. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and stuff like that. And this is Dare to Speak. And to all of you, take care.